Welcome back to my YouTube channel Salesforce Automation Testing. So guys, as we know that we have done a Selenium, simple Selenium, simple Java script, and we have also covered Salesforce Automation Testing. But right, so till now we have covered these topics, right? So today we will learn about the page object model, right? So guys, this is a really must have skills, right? Must you should aware about the page object model, right? If you are creating automation scripts, you should aware about the page object model, right? Because nowadays the page object model, it's yeah, good, it's a trend in order to automation testing, right? So today agenda is what is a page object model, what is the need of page object model, and how to implement POM in a Selenium WebDriver, right? And again, there is a Maven objective, right? So let's get started with the POM, right? So guys, if you like a page object model, you know that what is. So before started page object model, so Apache Maven, you should aware about the Apache Maven page object model. It's one of the part of the Maven, right? So Maven, what is a Maven, right? So you should know that Apache Maven is a software project management and comprehension tool, right? Based on a concept of the page object model, right? Maven can manage a projects, build reporting and documentation from a central piece of information, right? If you think that the Maven could help your project, you can find more information, right? So like suppose that if you need to design a test cases in such a way, right, that it will be easy to understand, right? So like if you are dealing with a number of pages on your project, right? So the pages is nothing but your pure Java classes, right? So based on your applications behavior, we will be creating so many pages, right? And whatever the locators that belongs to that page, we will store in a Java, and we will create a separate method to use them, right? We will show the example, like so the example, like let's take an example of take an example of the Amazon, right? But there is a Amazon. Right, Amazon to website, and they have a different module. Like a first module, it's like you can say it's a login page, right? Second one, it's home page, right? Third, there are another module that it's a mobiles, right? Another module, it's like a electronics, right? So guys, as you can see that Amazon website has a 4 types of modules. For this is the example, right? These 4 types of modules, right? So if you go through these things, check them. There are number of test cases, like test case 1, test case 1, right? If you think that test case 2, test case 3, test case 4, right? So here guys, you can see that there are the number of test cases, right, related to Amazon website, right? So in order to create a, so here there is the possibility, right? The login page will be used every time, right? Each and every time whenever you create your test case, right? So suppose there are the 4 test cases, right, related to home page, mobile and editor. You need to require a login page credential, right? So in order to overcome this problem, we should create a page object model, right? So page object model, it's as we know that page object model, it's it's easy, making the build process easy. So it providing a uniform base build system, right? And it's also providing a quality project information. So it's encouraging a better development practices, right? So that's the reason why we are using a page object model. That is a design pattern, right? So let's see that. So how to implement page object model in a Selenium, right? So there are 2 types of the implementation approach in a page object model. First is a normal approach, and second is a using a Pagefactory and a find by annotation. So here you can see that someone says that the page object model, it's a framework, right? But it's not a framework, right? So as we know that the page object model, it's a POM, right? It's a fundamental unit of work in a Maven, right? So it is the XML file that contains the information about the project and configuration details used by the Maven to build the project, right? So it contains some default value for most browsing, right? Like for example, that's a build directory, which is a target, and some source directory, which is a source main and Java, right? So this kind of activity, it is contained in a page object model, right? So here we will use a page factory, so right? So here the Pagefactory itself, so Pagefactory is a framework of the page object model, right? So POM is not the framework, but the Pagefactory is the framework of the page object model, right? And you can initialize this variable using a find by annotation. So we will see later on by creating one of the example script, right, in a Eclipse, right? So guys, let's get started to install a POM in a Eclipse, right? So simply you just open your browser, type in install a Maven in a Eclipse, right? So it will show you some steps, right? Go to here, click on Apache. So here is they have given a link, right? So in order to install these things, just simply open your Eclipse and go to the help and click on install new software, right? Click on add, simply write down a Maven here, click and paste your URL, right? So you can see that it's a Maven integration for Eclipse, right? Since I do already have in my system, so it does not allow me to next, right? Because I already installed this Maven in my Eclipse, right? So once you get installed Maven in your Eclipse, it will start your Eclipse, right? Then after you can see the reflection of the Maven. It's here, right? Check the Maven is installed or not in your Eclipse, right? Just go to the file, new and other, and type of Maven, right? And here you can see that there are the 3 options over here, right? Simply click on a Maven project, right? So to we will create the new Maven project, right? Okay guys, I simply click on next here. So let's wait guys. You can see that here it's a retrieving archive types, so the old archive types will be retrieving and showing over here. Guys, you can see that group ID, artifact ID and version is are getting retrieved. I simply write down search these things, right? So right now, no, got it. So just make sure that you should write down, you should search this text, yeah, this word over here, right? And click on a org.apache maven.archive types, right? Click on a next, right? So it will downloading archive apache here, right? And there is a group ID, right? So the group ID, right? So the group ID is the ID of the project groups, right? And there is a version, right? So the version of the artifact under the specified group, right? And the artifact ID, that the artifact ID is the ID of the artifact, right? That is a project, right? So we'll simply write down group IDs com.sfdc and the artifact ID would be a CRM, right? So here you can see that the package will be created com.sfdc.crm, right? And this is version, right? In order to store versions, right? So I just simply click on a finish, right? So here you can see that there is some page object model created over here, right? So guys, this is our first Maven project creation. See that we have created Maven project, right? So this is the first step to create the Maven project, right? So in the Maven there are number of, as you know that as I mentioned in earlier, right? This is the source and this is a test directory, right? This is the GRE library related to JDK, right? And this is a Maven dependency, right? So here I can see that ham crash JUnit, this is Maven dependency. When I click on a page object model, you can simply write 7.5 and related to POM, right? So this is the POM.sfdc group ID, this is the artifact ID CRM, and this is the version, right? This is the version control that you like, and this is the build, right? If you simply run this page object XML, right, POM, then just right click over here, run as a Maven build. Test. As you can see that when we start the page object model, right, it is downloading some files, right? So here you can see that build is success, and that means our POM is ready to implement, right? And run as a Maven test. So guys, you can see that build is success and our POM is ready to work upon, right? Guys, you can see that there are the directories over here, right? This is the source main.java, right? So this is the source directory, right? And this is the test source directory. So in which source directory we will maintain the entire pages of the test cases, right? And in the source test Java we will maintain our test cases, right? So in which whatever the test cases you want to execute, we will write down the code for here. Whatever the test case we want to execute, we just write down a step for the test execution over here. And whatever the build the test scripts of your web pages, we will write down a code for your test, build code over here, right? So let's get started, guys. First I will simply write down platform name over here, the new package, right? So we want to automate the login page of the Salesforce, so we simply create one package. That is a package com.s, so this is the pages, right? Guys, always gives a meaningful name over here, so you can easily identify your pages, right? Simply click on the finish, right? Here I will create the one class that is a login page, right? Generate command. Check the generate commands over here. That's always keep a habit over here, because you can here is your author name of the system, right? So here it's my name is Rakesh. I will simply write down this like that. Here what we will do is write down this class is contain quality locators and methods of login page, right? So I will simply start the automate the Salesforce login page, right? Guys, let's see. We want to automate Salesforce.com, right? So we want to locate us. We can see that here the username, password and login button, it's our three locators, right? So we want to automate Salesforce application web application. So in order to, we have to locate these three elements, right? So by using a by class, you can automate these things. So is equal to by dot. Here you can see that there are the number of attributes, like here you can say that ID, link tags, names, partial link tags, tag name, expert, right? So I will simply write down a ID, right? So I'll simply paste ID, right click, check the ID is a username, right? So we simply write down a ID username over here, right? And I want to simply identify another locator, such as by password is equal to my dot ID is equal to, let's check out time, it's 21, that's the password, right? right? Here you have to write down getting error because you have to simply write down uppercase, right? The next element locator is login button, right? So here we have a method ID. We can simply class or name, right? So here I will write down by login button is equal to my dot name, right? So here is a name, right? Clear? So here guys, we can see that we have identified 3 locators: username, password and login button, right? So here guys, we will create a one constructor, right? It's a constructor, right? That is a public login page, right? Here it's we'll create a parameterized constructor, right? That is a WebDriver right? Get it? So here I will simply write down create the one also. So here guys, we have to write down a number of methods for these locators, right? So let's get created 3 methods. Like the first is a public void type user name, right? So in which we have to write down a code for username. We are going to type enter the username. So here I will write down a driver dot find elements. As you guys know that it is showing me a login button, password and username, right? Because we have already located these elements, so it will directly we can pass these things. So we simply click on the username and simply send it, right? So here I will write down username abc@test.com, right? Again I will create another method, that is a void type password, right? Again I will pull the driver dot find elements, and this is a second now time is a password, right? So I will simply click on the send key, right, and password is the abc @xyz, right? Now the next method will be our login button, right? So we want to click on a login button, so public void click login button, right? So again I will write down driver dot find elements, and that is login button now, right? And which actions we want to perform? So we want to perform a click, right? So we simply type click over, right? So as we know that your user name, it will type the username, type a password, and then click on a login button, right? Click on a finish, right? So you can see that the package has been created already. So I will quickly create one class. This is a login test case, right? Finish. So here I will write down a code for the all the So here guys, we have, in order that we have created a constructor of the login page, right? So constructor in Java is a special method that is used to initialize objects, right? The constructor is called, right, when an object of a class is created, right? So here I will simply create a one local variable, public web driver, right? So right, so this is a local variable that is a reference variable of a web drive, right? That is a web drive, right? So this driver will perform activity on our web pages, right? So here I will create a one reference variable, this. So this is dot driver is equal to driver, right? So guys, this is a reference variable that refers the current object, that is a driver, right? So we'll simply write this, right? So whenever you call this constructor, right, automatically the driver which you will pass, it will accept here and initialize this web drivers, right? So whenever you call this web drivers over here, right? So let's get started to the different method of these three locators, right? Now that we have written code this three element locators, right, the username, password and login. Now we want to execute those things, right? So we have to create the one package. It's under test, right? So here it's a, so as I told you, it's a source directory, it's a test source directory, right? So whatever the pages you want to execute, right, then you have to write down a code for this under this package, test package, right? So it will, you can easily identify that this is the source directory, this is a test source directory, right? So whatever the pages that you want to build, you want to perform actions, it will comes over here, and whatever the test cases, test execution script, right, it will comes over here, right? So we simply create one package that is a common dot sdc dot cases, right? So I will simply, so guys, here we have to call this entire method of the login page, right? That is a all these element location methods, right? So we simply write down test annotations. This is test one as well, right? Now we simply write down a public void verify login page, right? Here first we create the object of the driver, right? Equal to new from driver. Got it? So write down to driver dot get, which is our here https www dot login dot salesforce.com, right? And so here we have to initialize a constructor which we have created over here, right? So here I will declare a constructor which we have declared over here, right? So login page is equal to login is equal new login page, right? So here it's an object, it's a driver object. So here I will, because we have created a here it's a parameter constructor, that is a driver, right? So driver object will invoke here, right? So now I will use this method, right? That is a type username over here, right? And again I will type password over here, and I will write down in dot click on a login button, right? So here I will create a thread dot slip, right? So we add these exceptions, right? Okay, here I will say second thread as then class as a driver dot close, right? So let's guys, we have complete the entire code of the page object model. So we have automated a login page of the Salesforce using a page object model, right? So let's this project is class is ready for the run, right? So let's get to run this browser, and let's say here we can see that the Chrome browser is getting initialized, and it will head to the, it opens the login.salesforce page, and here's a username, here's a password, and here you can see that login button, right? So here you are not able to log in the Salesforce because we are getting some error because this username and this password, right, does not exist in the Salesforce system, right? So this is just testing purpose. So here we can see that our project is successfully run, and you cannot see that any error, right? So here guys, we have covered this normal approach of the page object model, and in the next sections we will see the Pagefactory and the find by annotations, right? So till then, thank you so much, bye bye.